So now we're going to learn about operations done on functions. The very first thing we have to do is get a few of the basic operations down. This says f plus g of x is equal to f of x plus g of x. That just means you take your value for x, substitute it into both functions, and then just add them together. The next one, of course, is subtraction. Works the same way. You just have to be really careful with subtraction because you might have to distribute it to everything that's in this g of x, or the second function. F times g of x, just like it says, you just multiply them together. And then f divided by g of x, you just divide them. Now you have to be really careful about division and make sure that your denominator is not equal to 0. So let's have a look at these examples. The first one says f plus g of 4. So we want to find f of 4 and add it to g of 4. Well, f of 4 means to take this function and put 4 where the x is. So we're going to have 3 square root of 4 minus 2. And then that's the f of 4. We're going to add that to our g of 4, which is 4 squared plus 5. We simplify. The square root of 4 is 2. Excuse me. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 minus 2 is 4. 4 squared is 16. And 16 plus 5 is 21. 4 plus 21, 25. Simple enough, right? Let's do the same thing, but we want to find f minus g of x. So we're not really substituting in for x, we just leave it as x. So we're going to find f of x minus g of x. So we're going to take our f of x, which is the 3 square root of x minus 2, and subtract the x squared plus 5. This is what I was talking about earlier. You're going to have to distribute this negative 1. So we're going to have 3 square root of x minus 2 minus x squared minus 5. We do have two like terms, so we have 3 square root of x minus 7 minus x squared. Of course, you could change this and write it in descending order, but this is okay for now. Okay, how about the next one? We have f times g of 0. So we want to find f of 0 and multiply it by g of 0. So f of 0 is going to be 3 square root of 0 minus 2. And then we're going to multiply that by 0 squared plus 5. Well, what's the square root of 0? Well, 0. 0 times 3 is 0, and 0 minus 2 is negative 2. So we're going to multiply this by 0 squared is 0, and 0 plus 5 is 5. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. Now how about division? We're going to divide f of 9 by g of 9. So we have f of 9 divided by g of 9. F of 9 is 3 square root of 9 minus 2. G of 9 is 9 squared plus 5. Square root of 9 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And 9 minus 2 is 7. 9 squared is 81. And 81 plus 5 is 86. So how about you pause the video and try these three and then restart it to see if you get the same thing that I do. Did you pause it yet? H of 5 plus j of 5. So we're going to have 5 squared plus 3 times 5. That's going to be 25 plus 15, which happens to be 40. H of 2 times J of 2. That will be 2 squared times 3 times 2. So that's 4 times 6, or 24. H of A divided by J of A. That will be A squared over 3A. This will reduce. Remember, A squared means A times A, right? So A over A is 1. You just end up with A over 3. So what if we have ordered pairs as our function instead of an actual equation? The very first thing you must do is look for the intersections of the domains. So what is the domain of this first function? It's 1, 2, 3, 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 5. Well, what is the domain of the second one? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we need to find their intersection. So the domain of the entire function, f plus g, will be wherever these have something in common. So they're actually going to have something in common at the 1s, the 2s, and the 3s, right? So we're going to have 1, 2, and 3 in our new domain. Okay, so how exactly does this work? Well, you need to find f of 1 plus g of 1. Then you need to find f of 2 plus g of 2. And then you need to find f of 3 plus g of 3. All you're doing is finding each function evaluated at the new domain. So we have f of 1, f of 2, f of 3, g of 1, g of 2, and g of 3. So f of 1 is 3, g of 1 is 6. 3 plus 6 is 9. So when we put 1 into f plus g, we get 9 out. That means your ordered pair is going to be 1, 9. You put 1 in, you get 9 out. So 1 is x and 9 is y. So let's try f of 2. f of 2 is 8. G of 2 is 11. And 8 plus 11 is 19. So when you put 2 into the function f plus g, you get 19 out. So that ordered pair will be 2, 19. How about this one? F of 3 is 6. G of 3 is 0. 6 plus 0 is 6. So when you put 3 into the function f plus g, you get 6 out. So your ordered pair will be 3, 6. See if you can do this one. We're multiplying this time. So the very first thing you have to do is find the intersection of the domains. The domain of the first one is 1, 2, 3, 5. We just determined this on the previous page. The domain of the second one is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the intersection of those domains will be 1, 2, 3. So we're going to find f of 1 times g of 1, f of 2 times g of 2, and f of 3 times g of 3. f of 1 is 3, g of 1 is 6. 3 times 6 is 18. So you put in a 1, and you get out an 18. f of 2 is 8, g of 2 is 11, 8 times 11 is 88. So you put in a 2 and you get out an 88. f of 3 is 6, g of 3 is 0, 6 times 0 is 0. So you put in a 3 and you get out a 0. So this is the product of f and g evaluated at those points. So what if we have a division problem? Does it work any differently? Well, first let's go ahead and find that domain that we were talking about earlier. We already know these. I'll write them down again just so you can see it. And the domain, the intersection of the domains would be 1, 2, and 3, right? So we want to find f of 1 divided by g of 1, f of 2 divided by g of 2, and f of 3 divided by g of 3. As we know already, f of 1 is 3, g of 1 is 6, and this reduces to 1/2. So f of 1 divided by g of 1 gives you 1/1/2. f of 2 is 8, g of 2 is 11. So you put in a 2 and you get out an 8/11. Then f of 3 is 6 and g of 3 is 0. So what do you know about 0 in the denominator? Remember this is okay? This is not okay? This doesn't exist. We can't even consider that one. That means that 3 is not in the domain of that quotient. It is simply 1 and 2 in the domain. So this is it. There's no more to that function. Here's a couple for you to try. I'm not going to talk through these. Just work them and see if you get the same thing that I do. So how did you do? Did you get the same thing that I did?